engine. Hey guys, I am on the last hour of my trip here in Sri Lanka, so I want to share some tips on transportation with you. My name is Angela Carson, Wander with Angela. I'm 48 years old, a solo female traveler. If I can do it, you can do it. And I came to Sri Lanka to do a reviews piece for Esquire magazine. But lots of the transportation I took care of myself because I'm freelance. I'm not on staff, so those things aren't really covered. So I want to share with you what I learned, tips on how to get the best prices, and maybe what you need to know when making decisions on how you're going to get around here in Sri Lanka. This is basically the luxury guide to affordable transportation. Before we get started, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out videos a couple times a week on the best places to eat, drink, play, and stay in Asia. I also share information, thoughts, feelings, real experiences about what it's like living as an expat in Asia, specifically Southeast Asia now. So please do subscribe to my channel, and if the video is helpful, please do give it a like. Here are your transportation choices. It's tuk-tuk, taxi, car and driver, self-drive that I didn't do, so I can't offer any feedback on that, seaplanes, helicopter I didn't do here either, trains and buses. So let's get into the basic lay of the land. Seaplanes. I wish I could have done seaplanes the entire route. I would have gone Colombo, Kandy, down by Galle, Willigama, Galle up. You can do them all across the country. I only did one seaplane ride, and I would have done it the entire trip if I could have. So, and those aren't terribly expensive either. It's quite affordable given that you're on a commuter airplane. So when it's the big stretches, like when I went from Kandy down to the south coast, I took the seaplane. It was about 25 minutes. Would have taken 6 or 7 hours by car, and it was fun. The pilot, like, he just seems like he's got like full reign of the skies, because he's like, hey, we'll go by Adams Peak, we'll do this, and it was fantastic. We did go by Adams Peak. I have great footage of all of that. Also had a really fun time with some restaurateurs from Seattle who were in the same flight with me, and we were pouring down whiskey and beers. It was quite fun. We smuggled them on though. It's not like there's service on Cinnamon Air. So for the most part, I would say you want to use a car and driver. Unless you're self-driving, it's really the best way to get around if you're on the ground. While I was doing research, I came across a company called GetTransfers.com. I am not sponsored by them. I did reach out to them and ask if they would sponsor me, but they never replied back, so I'm guessing I wasn't really a viable candidate for them. But I ended up paying sometimes half of what I was quoted from local companies when I was already on the ground. And you will pay about 3 or 4 times as much if you book through the hotel. So I booked my Colombo airport to Kandy ride through GetTransfers. The driver was there. I had him put Wander with Angela on a sign. It's the only time I asked them to do that. And wait, maybe they're doing it right now. I'm getting picked up literally in an hour. But he was on time. He was really fun. We had a great time on the drive. He put on music when I asked. It was perfect. And the fare was literally half of what you would pay if you just kind of show up at the desks and ask for a ride. My ride from the airport to Kandy to my resort, which was Santani, was, I think, I'll put the prices down below because I have all the receipts digitally. Granted, transportation here is really inexpensive just in general, but as one person, I found that the cost, when I compare it to my home base of Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, it was much more. So if you decide to just wing it and go with what's here, that's fine. You won't be gorged, generally speaking. I had one driver try and scam me, but if you're smart, I hadn't asked him to put a fixed price on it. It was my fault. Hey guys, I am back home, but I forgot to mention something in the video. So one thing I did do, I would use gettransfer.com to kind of gauge the pricing. But in 2 occasions, which worked out to be multiple rides, I actually contacted a local company, and via WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, super quickly and efficiently, they all replied back, and I was able to tell them the price I wanted to pay and see if they'd agree to accommodate my ride. So the first time I did it, it was in Kandy. I was at a wellness retreat called Santani, an hour up a mountaintop, and through the resort itself, you know how it is with resort pricing. So I chose to contact, I'm going to put links down below. I think it was the Kandy budget taxi or something like that. They were so fast, literally within about 3 minutes on WhatsApp, we had agreed. I really thought it was going to be a pain in my ass. It was going to take my time away from my experiences I wanted to have. But no, it was really fast and super efficient. That taxi driver ended up being such a dear. He sang me a song. I have a whole video about it.
Sorry, what's your name?
Raja, madam.
Rajan. Okay, so he has been safely navigating me through animals, and we had to go through a pile of cement, wet cement at one point too. That was pretty crazy. So anyway, yep, use Kandy Budget Taxi for your Kandy transport.
I'll put down below as well. It's the Seaplane video with Cinnamon Air, but the whole beginning bit is him singing this beautiful song, so check that out. I did it again in Galle. I realized quite quickly that if you use the city that you're in to try and get your transfers back and forth in between destinations, they're a little less reluctant to adjust on the price, because I guess if they're coming out to get you and then they end up back at home, it's a little bit more pleasant for them, even though it's the same trip, right? Depending on the time of day. So I contacted the destination town where I was going, and I ended up using the same guy in Galle because I needed to go from Weligama to Galle, and it was perfect. He took care of me on that trip. He took me back as well, and even gave me a discount on the return trip. So I'm gonna post his information down below. I'm posting that of Kandy, but that's a good way to do it if you want to support the local economy, because GetTransfer takes a commission cut. I did use GetTransfer for the airport rides because I figured that those would be quite sacred, and I felt more secure doing that. But yeah, it was great. I ended up paying them cash, paid a bit of a discount, and it worked out quite well. Now, with that said, the roads here are mostly terrible. So they're fun if you're shooting video and you want to see what local life is like, but generally speaking, it's 2 lanes, one going one direction, one going the other, and you're going through towns. It's very rare to hop onto a autobahn, a freeway, a highway. They are building those, but most aren't launched yet, live yet, built yet, opened yet. So just keep that in mind. What takes 20 minutes in a seaplane takes 6 or 7 hours by car. So that tells you just how old school the roads are here. So yeah, the roads are challenging. Just keep that in mind. Now, once you're in a town, a tuk-tuk is a really great way to get around. The idea of taxis in general isn't the same here as you get in Europe or New York, where you just kind of hail one and that's it. They don't really have taxis in that way here, so locals don't really use them. They use tuk-tuks. So when you're going from point A to point B within a town, use a tuk-tuk. I did it going to a really posh 5-star resort, which I was a little uncomfortable with at first, but then once I was in the tuk-tuk and going, I was like, yeah, you know, whatever. It was really fun. So you can also do tuk-tuk tours. I did one in Willigama. Okay, we're hanging out on a dock. I did one inside the fort in Galle. Hey guys, well I am exploring Galle Fort. And that was fabulous because they know all the secret places to take you. They'll literally tell you, okay, hop out here and go walk out there. You're gonna want to take some photos. Okay, look, go over there and start walking. You're gonna walk across the fort wall and then meet me on the opposite side where the curve is and we'll connect there again. It was great. So tuk-tuk tours and tuk-tuks, fantastic. The rides, generally speaking, for a few kilometers are, I don't know, a couple US dollars. So it's not too bad. Buses, that's the only thing I didn't take, but I interviewed people. The female solo travelers who I spoke with said they were fantastic. They didn't have any issues with ever feeling unsafe, like anyone tried to accidentally touch them or any of those things. This is how the buses work. The red buses are Sri Lankan government-run buses. You don't want those buses. You want the blue buses. The blue buses are like a party bus. They have lights and music and it looks like disco on wheels. It's seriously the coolest thing. I was supposed to do that today, but it's the Puya, the full moon holiday, and there aren't very many buses running and it just got complicated and my whole day got shot. So those, it works different than most any other country. You basically put up your hand, you flag them down, they stop, and you hop on no matter where you are. You can stop at a designated bus stop, but you don't have to. They're crazy cheap, and what you do is you get on. It's not like you have an Oyster card or an Octopus card or anything like that. You hop on, you find a seat, you sit down, and a human comes to your seat and actually interacts with you, asks where you're going. They calculate the total fare and you pay the human. It's wild. So anyway, buses. The girls said they were crazy fun. They said they're the king of the road because nothing, they stop for very little and they basically just go balls to the wall with their their driving techniques are pretty out there. So the buses, blue buses, not red. Trains are crazy cheap as well. So I only did one ride and that was from Galle to Kogala and back again because I wanted to experience it. It was 50, okay, so the ride was 30 minutes. It was 50 rupees, which is about 27 cents. And it was so beautiful and so fun. I had the best time on the train. And okay, unless you're doing first class service, which they don't have going from Galle to the airport, which is why I'm not taking the train now. It's second and third class, windows down, you're gonna get hot, you're gonna get sweaty, but you can stand out the windows like a dog out a window in a car and just feel the breeze and shoot video, and it's crazy hella fun. I think people were surprised to see, because I'm almost 50 years old, I think people, like when they saw me out with the camera, you know, I tried to put one foot on the step and, you know, hold myself out. But it was really good fun and I'm glad I did it. Hi, just one more sec, hold on. The tuk-tuk ride, if you're going just a few kilometers, I've found in Galle at least, they charge about 300, I keep wanting to say ringgit, rupees, which is, I think it was like $1.75 or something like that, $1.90. It's crazy cheap. Okay, I'll let tuk-tuk, train, buses, car and driver, seaplane. Okay, and that is it. I can't think of any other modes of transportation. I walked a little bit, but for the most part, I used the Sri Lankan varied methods of transportation and had a wonderful time. I'm sure that you will as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I wish you a wonderful holiday in Sri Lanka. It's a beautiful country. It's my favorite journey since 2016 when I did the Borneo Mulu trip. So, and I travel a bit, so it says a lot about what's here. It's Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, guys, be safe, have fun traveling. Bye. Okay, so